All right. Let's watch the Fall of Sora. All right, hold on. I'm going to be totally professional. Gosh, can you exit out? Thank you. I'm going to be totally professional. I'm going to go do what I usually do, just like I did for Mr. WestJet, is I'm going to tweet it. Hey, man, Viking King, let's show you some love still, man. There you go. Just like with Mr. WestJet, I'm going to actually make sure I have the actual link. Let's make sure that it's had the chance to use it, but so long. Never had the chance to use it, but oh well. But goodbye. I don't know. I'll just say that fucking. I just never had a chance to use it. There you go. All right, let's start it.
It was supposed to be the next TikTok, a viral AI app that made everyone a movie director. Hit a million users faster than ChatGPT and seemed unstoppable. Now, it's dead. The hype turned into a ghost town, and behind the scenes things were unraveling. How could an app that promised to change the way we consume entertainment go so wrong? I'm Josh, and on today's episode of the Infographics Show, we'll reveal why Sora is closing its doors for good. Sora's demise is the most dramatic in the AI space to date. Within 3 months of launching, it plummeted from #1 in the free apps section of the App Store to number 101. On Google Play, it fell even lower, 181. Downloads peaked at 3.2 million in November, sank to 2.2 million in December, and had dropped as low as 1.2 million by the end of January. That's a 45% month-on-month decline.
Wait.
There was even worse.
So, how long is Sora? How long has Sora been around?
News for Sora's developers opening.
So it's like a year?
AI. People who downloaded the app ditched it almost immediately. 90% quit within a day of downloading it.
I guess.
A week later, only 2% hung around, and by day 30, even half of those remaining gave up. Most users seemed to quit after using Sora once. For OpenAI, it wasn't just a reputational embarrassment, it was hitting the company's bottom line hard. Sora reportedly burned through $15 million per day in GPU compute expenses, with an estimated cost of
For communities were using Sora to hype up or make just make meme videos. Like there's S-Fan was using it, I know of, it's like all kinds of creators, like even Lazy from from the Fallen FaZe Clan and all that. Personally, like Poop Witch and everything, which where I go a lot too, on Twitch. It's it was used in for some ways, and for creators and stuff.
$1.30 per generated video. By the end of January, Sora had generated just $1.4 million, and spending that month alone dropped 32%, accelerating the decline further. The losses were only just starting to add up. Whichever way you look at it, it is the most spectacular crash and burn AI story to date.
Yeah.
So why was Sora such a dud? And how did OpenAI go so wrong?
How? Yeah, how?
When OpenAI released Sora, technically Sora 2, in September 2025, it wasn't meant to be another AI video generator like Runway or Midjourney. It was supposed to be something bigger, a social network. OpenAI looked at the attention economy and decided that they didn't want to just power the videos, they wanted to own the platform where they were posted and shared. So they built a TikTok clone. But instead of a feed filled with content created by users, it was full of AI slop. But Sora's killer feature was called cameos.
Well, I can see that.
Record a quick video of your face and voice, and suddenly you could be the star of any video. It was exciting and terrifying at the same time. A world where we don't make content anymore, we just prompt it. It seemed to work for a moment. The buzz was huge, and the growth was explosive. Once the invites opened, Sora had 1 million iOS downloads the first week. The November 2025 Android release had 470,000 downloads on its first day. It was an instant hit, but then, almost as quickly, the
Well, to be honest, the reason why I never downloaded it was because it's like I don't know. I just well, I think it was be like I think it's because it cost something. But like I think at the time and everything, I didn't have like the computer to like even do it. Like let alone with like a phone, I just had like whatever I had at the time. Hell, the iPhone 16 was only new for so
Wheels
long.
started coming off. It turns out the reason Sora went viral wasn't what you would expect. People weren't excited to star in a video themselves. They
Right.
wanted to put well-known figures, especially cartoon characters, into AI-generated worlds. That
Okay.
was a PR disaster. Within days, videos of SpongeBob as a Nazi, Pikachu taking part in violent shootouts, and Disney
Oh,
princesses
God.
in compromising situations were going viral.
Oh,
Engagement was
God.
through the
Disney
roof, but not everyone
I'm guessing what he meant as like Disney princesses in compromising ways would be like, I guess, in a corn way.
was amused. Most of
In
the
a porn
characters
way?
being used in the
Corn
videos
porn?
belonged to
Ooh.
major Hollywood
Hate to
studios.
say that.
For them, the orgy of content flying out of Sora only spelled one thing: industrial-scale copyright infringement. Soon, expensive entertainment lawyers were at OpenAI's doorstep. A week after Sora's launch on October 6th, the Motion Picture Association, or MPA, issued a public statement. It demanded that OpenAI take immediate and decisive action to stop the platform from being flooded with copyright content violations. OpenAI had just closed a massive funding round valuing the company at $157 billion. CEO Sam Altman knew the MPA's lawyers could see the company was low-hanging fruit for a huge damages claim, and they had to act fast. The root of the MPA's belief was that OpenAI had adopted an opt-out policy with regards to copyright control on Sora. In other words, unless you
Okay.
specifically opted your content out of usage on Sora, it was fair game. Within
Ooh,
3 days
okay.
of the platform's launch, even before the MPA public complaint, the opt-out policy had been canned. In its place was an opt-in policy. Sora now asks for explicit permission from rights holders before using their characters. It also gives them control over how their intellectual property, or IP, appears in Sora-generated content. That was a pretty agile move. It essentially shifts the
Right.
responsibility for content control from the platform to the rights holders.
There has to be some kind of control, because most certainly you cannot just have like AI just make like content of Cinderella blowing a bunch of fucking dudes, or you can't be like having like all like you can't be letting AI use your characters in these ways and stuff, it's like it's just how it is. You can't be having like fucking like just like Aladdin fucking taking up arms in like whatever fucking Middle East war and shit. That's like the kind of shit that gets you in fucking trouble, dude.
Eliminating much of the legal risk in the process. But not everyone was buying it. MPA CEO Charles Rivkin wrote that OpenAI must acknowledge it remains their responsibility, not rights holders, to prevent infringement on the Sora 2 service. Since then, OpenAI has taken several other measures to try to reassure rights holders. It added a visible watermark to all
God.
Sora-generated videos.
Pikachu
to
with an
improve
AK,
transparency
dude.
and
What the fuck? Pikachu with an AK. I can't, man. It's like, what are we doing? Is this Power World here? What are we doing here? What'd you do to my boy? What'd you do to my boy here, man?
term misuse. It established a review team to monitor and remove any infringing or harmful content, including racist or offensive material. It also banned the generation of certain high-profile likenesses, but
God damn it.
most tellingly, it scrubbed all the offending IP.
There we go.
It might have satisfied the lawyers, but it also killed all the fun. Overnight, the platform went from the Wild West to a ghost town. OpenAI found out the hard way you can't build a viral video network without the culture that makes things go viral.
Yeah.
Sora served up AI slop, but we serve up 100% human-made content. Don't
It's
forget
like-
to like, share,
Like, if you also don't like have like, I guess like if you're not like able to give the customer what they want and everything, because like I guess like, if someone wants to see SpongeBob like freaking flying a plane or something, I guess you should let them see that.
and subscribe. It wasn't just Hollywood coming
I
after
don't know.
Sora, it was potentially everybody. Around the same time
Right?
as the MPA's
Oh my
letter,
God.
Zelda Williams and Bernice King, the daughters of Robin Williams and Martin Luther King Jr.,
Okay.
respectively, had publicly condemned AI-generated videos featuring their fathers,
Oh.
including racist depictions of the civil rights leader. Those offensive
Alright.
videos weren't isolated incidents.
Okay,
Fearing
yeah, I
potential
think-
lawsuits
oh.
and
Okay, I'm guessing Martin Luther King doing a bunch of like racist shit. That's bad, dude. That is
negative
so
press,
bad.
OpenAI started blocking content featuring even more public figures. You want to make a video of Taylor Swift endorsing your product? Blocked. A
Yeah.
deep fake of the president? Better luck next time.
Right.
Users were left with just
Yeah.
one option for
Dude, they started that started popping off. Like, I remember like there was like a few videos where it's like some of them were like bad impressions of like, but like and people were like, oh man, this is fake or whatever. It's like it started getting better and
star
ugh.
power themselves. As if Altman wasn't already neck deep in copyright troubles, Cameo, the celebrity video platform, sued OpenAI over the use of the name. The courts agreed, and in November 2025, a federal judge issued a temporary restraining order preventing OpenAI from using the name. OpenAI promptly changed it to Characters, but the change did
Characters?
nothing to
Okay.
resolve the underlying disaster with the feature: privacy, or the lack thereof. It is Sora's fatal flaw. The Characters feature
Yeah.
was meant to be the heart of the app, but there's
mean,
a
like-
problem with that. It requires
I mean, like, if Sora can like use like public figures and stuff like that, who's to say they can't just like program it to use like a random person that they, they they scan your face and they're able to use it for like, and it's like I guess if someone's like really sick, like they some way scan some like maybe some dude scans some random lady's face and he just like uses it in his Sora 2 app to make some like whatever porn. Like that is just sick. And I know it's like that it's like dude, like there is like pride, like there's a privacy thing. And I remember this actually became a problem for streamers, for a lot of female streamers and even male streamers like Charlie, because apparently there was one with like Charlie fucking like doing like some skiing or whatever, like two other guys like it's like my god. It's like it did get out of fucking hand. It's like hell, man. You could probably still find the video of QT Cinderella like crying over like that kind of thing, because all they needed to do was scan your face and use like Sora 2 or whatever these other AI generators to make fucking porn.
you to upload your face and voice. In other words, you are expected to entrust your biometric data to a third-party AI company
Yeah.
that is being sued for copyright infringement. Even worse, the reason for handing over some of your most sensitive data is that so others, including total strangers, can just remix it for their own enjoyment. In an era where identity theft is rampant, the idea of letting strangers remix your likeness is terrifying. It's hard to understand how OpenAI thought this was a good idea. The first week of Sora showed just how far people would go. For those who tried Characters, seeing an AI version of themselves wasn't exactly entertaining, it was unsettling, even creepy. For Sora, it was a fatal mistake. Most users who tried the app bailed, worried about privacy and sharing their digital likeness. People who tried the Characters feature never touched it again. In the end, the feature meant to drive engagement ended up driving users away. By the end of 2025, the honeymoon was well and truly over. Within weeks, it had become a divorce. The numbers for January 2026 were a bloodbath. January is when Sora died. Downloads collapsed by a further 45%.
Oh,
From a
it died
monthly
in
peak of
January,
3.2
huh?
million in November, total monthly downloads in January barely
Okay.
scraped 1.2 million.
Whew.
Revenue also collapsed. In December,
it's the
users
last
spent
minute people.
$540,000 inside of the app. By January, that number was gutted to $367,000, a 32% drop. After all that hype, Sora only generated $1.4 million in revenue. That's less than a single
Wow.
mid-tier influencer makes in a year. But
Damn.
more importantly, it's over 10 times less than what
Mid-tier.
OpenAI paid for Sora's compute each day. The attention was gone, the money was gone, but Altman's Sora headache remained. In the same quarter that Sora launched, Google's Gemini app exploded with the Nano Banana model. And
Nano
right
Banana.
as Sora was peaking, Meta launched Vibes, their own AI video feed,
Okay.
which diverted all the casual users who just wanted to play,
So
not
is that still around? I'm kind of curious.
commit to a new network. The market shifted. Sora went from being the only game in town to being one option in a
Yeah.
crowded space. And
Yeah,
it
'cause
wasn't even the best one.
As far as I knew, that Sora 2 was the only AI in town besides ChatGPT that can make like video content like that though. But I guess there's Banana and the Vibes.
In that kind of market, users aren't loyal, they're lazy.
They're
They'll
Gronk.
go where the tool is easiest and most convenient, and right
Yeah.
now, Sora is neither, not by a long shot. But the most damning reason for Sora's failure might not be external, it's internal. OpenAI
They're kind of going deep into like AI in general. It's like not just about Sora, I guess. All right, I'm here for it.
reportedly is in the midst of an identity crisis, according to the Financial Times, the Wall Street Journal, and former employees. Sora was caught in the crossfire. Terrified of losing ground on competitors like Google and Anthropic, Sam Altman put the company on red alert. As a result, OpenAI shifted focus. The company pulled all its resources into its well-established app, ChatGPT. Sources inside the company said that if you weren't working on the language model, you were second-class citizens. So the Sora team reportedly found itself on the outside looking in. They were starved of compute, talent, and interest. Longtime researchers like 7-year veteran Jerry Turick quit the company to explore other avenues of research. These departures meant there was no one left to fight for Sora, so the company decided to cut its losses, and Sora was left to die. It's an ignominious death for something that promised so much. Sora's collapse reveals 5 hard truths about the future of AI, social media, and the attention economy. The first one is that Silicon Valley seems to have difficulty remembering that a hockey stick growth chart is not a business model. OpenAI saw the initial rush of users and assumed they had built a new habit for humanity. But they confused curiosity with loyalty. Millions of people downloaded Sora to see what the hype was about, made one video of their dog flying through.
Oh, that makes sense, because like that was the reason why I wanted to download it, was the hype. And just like do random shit, like make dog flying, make my mom fly or something. I don't know, make my house look like a fucking boat or spaceship or something.
Space and then never open the app again. It's a phenomenon known as the novelty trap. In the AI era, acquiring users is cheap, but keeping them, that costs a fortune. Sora proved you can buy a crowd, but you can't buy a community. The second lesson is a brutal.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that's true. I think that is very true. The novelty wears off and stuff. Example, I would say Pokemon Go. I'm just saying, Pokemon Go is not dead, but it's like you cannot deny on the drop off of the amount of people that like first downloaded it day one. You know what I mean? Though, but it's like the novelty kind of wore off though. But the difference between Sora AI and Pokemon Go is that Pokemon Go is able to stay alive because they have a community that was already built before it, that was built on with TV shows, a card game itself, and all that. And Sora 2 just, I was like, a novelty can like wear off. It's just you got to have a community behind you to keep you like alive, I guess. And and not all the time a community can keep a game alive, because such as stop killing games, it's they'll just kill a game without even if people don't stop playing it, they'll just kill the online service. So or they'll just kill the game,
Reality check for product designers. If your killer can't buy a community. The second lesson is a brutal reality check for product designers. If your killer feature requires work, that is not a killer feature, it's a pain. Sora's entire ecosystem was built around the Cameo feature, but to use it, users had to record a live video of their face, verify their voice, and consent to a maze of privacy policies. TikTok lets you scroll infinitely with 0 effort. Ask a user to do anything more than that, and you essentially ask them to leave. The moment you introduce friction, you introduce drop-off. Cameo asked for too much trust, too much data, and too much effort. It was a platform that hadn't earned that yet, and users voted with their feet. Lesson 3 cuts right to the heart of the AI ethics debate. Every platform has a social contract. On Instagram, that contract is something like, I show you my life, you show me yours. On Twitter, it's, I share my thoughts, you share yours. But what is the contract on a generative AI social network? Sora wanted users to create and remix content freely, but OpenAI refused to define the boundaries. When users
Hold up,
pushed
you're
the
getting me in
boundaries,
trouble.
OpenAI panicked and slammed the door shut. In the process, OpenAI changed the contract after users had already signed it. When the censorship hammer fell, freedom was restricted, trust evaporated, and users rushed for the exits. The fourth lesson is the most cynical. It's also the most important for understanding the AI industry today. In the AI arms race, compute is currency. Inside OpenAI, Sora became a
Sora
luxury
coulda
that
fucked
they
him.
could no longer afford. When Altman declared a red alert to fight Google and Anthropic, he made a strategic decision. Every GPU, every engineer, every line of code had to serve ChatGPT. Sora was eating up resources and generating a fraction of the revenue. It had to go. If your product isn't the CEO's top priority, you're living on borrowed time. Sora didn't just fail because the tech was bad. It failed in no small part because its parent company decided it wasn't worth committing to. And that brings us to the fifth lesson, the one that should worry every AI executive in Silicon Valley. Sora tried to replace human creativity with machine efficiency. They built a feed full of AI-generated content, remixed by AI, suggested by AI, and it felt hollow. Social media works because of the messiness of humanity, the awkward pauses, the unexpected emotions, the shared experience of being alive. Sora's feed was technically perfect, but emotionally dead. The collapse of Sora shows us that AI can boost creativity, but it can't replace the human connection that makes us want to share. When you build a social network, you are fighting for one thing: attention. And on Sora, the attention was supposed to come from users expressing themselves creatively. It launched with the promise of total creative freedom, but it was almost immediately shackled by copyright issues. It tried to build intimacy through cameos, but ended up alienating users. It tried to compete in a cutthroat market, but was abandoned by its parent company as costs soared. Sora is a reminder that no matter how smart the algorithm is, you can't automate a soul. The churn rate was insane. The momentum was gone. Sora is
can't
dead.
make a soul.
It's not the first AI mega project to die a humbling death, and it definitely won't be the last. Watch Ubisoft bet on AI slop. Now they're ruined. To see what happened when game
Yeah. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Don't forget to like the video that Infographics made. Oof.